So second pattern says that we want to print something like this. So second pattern says that we want to print output like this. Okay, let's break it out. Let's break it out. Can we print this? Can we print single star? Can we print this? Can we print this double star? Can we print this? Okay, so let's consider it as a grid. Let's consider it as a grid. Okay, so this is a whole grid. Let's consider it as a grid. So in a grid, let's start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, forget about patterns, forget about for loops. Just try to concentrate. If we consider it as a grid have what? Grid have rows, grid have columns, right? So if we try to understand it, see, these are the things which we want to display. These are the things which want to print, right? So these things I want to print inside our inner loop, right? So I want to print a star in first line. I want to print 2 stars in second line. I want to print 3 stars in third line. I want to print 4 stars in fourth line. I want to print 5 stars in fifth line, and so on. So can you understand? Can you understand? In this, when our row is first, we are at first row, right? When we are at first row, we want to print it once. When we are at first row, see, these rows are our outer loop. These are rows, right? These rows are outer loop. Consider it as outer loop, right? So in our first row, we want to print 1 star. In our second row, we want to print 2 stars. In our third row, we want to print 3 stars. In our fourth row, we want to print 4 stars. In our fifth row, we want to print 5 stars. So outer loop, these number of rows are nothing but outer loop. So how many times we want to print these? 5 times. See, try to understand it like a pattern. I want to print this. Whatever written in this, I want to print this. Whatever written in this, I want to print this. So how many times, how many total times I want to print? I want to print 5 times. I want to print 5 times. And every time what I want to print? I want to print a star. See, try to break in 2 things, outer loop and inner loop. In inner loop, we want to print a star. In outer loop, we want, how many times we want to print this? How many times we want to print this? Okay, so let's try to form it in our loop. So let's say I take a for loop. Let's say I take an outer loop, I equals to 1. Let's say I take an outer loop, I equals to 1. When I equals to 1, how many times this will print? Let's consider it as inside loop. It will also start from 1. Okay, let's take it as 1. Okay, for I equals to 1, for first row, how many times I want to print? For first row, how many times I want to print? For first row, I want to print only 1 time. I want to print only 1 time. Now, for I equals to 2, I want to print it 2 times. Okay, so can I print this 2 times? Yes, right. I can run a loop. I know how to run a loop, inside loop, right? So J will run for what? J will run for 1 and 2. 2 times it will print. Now for I equals to 3, how many times I want to print it? How many times I want to print it? 1, 2, 3. 3 times I want to print this. So J will run till what? 1, 2, 3. The number of times I want to print these stars in a line will be equal to the number of loops, inside loops I want to run. Okay, when I will be 4, how many times J loop should be run? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4 times star should be print. Now when I equals to 5, how many times star should be print in a line? In a line. Please notice this word. In a line. How many times star should be print in a line? 5 times. So how many times inside loop should be run? How many times inside loop should be run? 5 times, right? So the number of stars you want to print in a line will be same as the number of inside loop you want to run. We have seen if we want to print 5 stars in a line, we will run a loop for 5 times. In the previous examples, we will run an inside loop for 5 times. But in the previous examples, every time we wanted to print 5 stars. So it was a kind of easy. There was no relation of rows and columns directly. So every time I was printing it 5 times. But in this example, can you relate the number of stars with I? When I equals to 1, we want to print it only 1 times. When I equals to 2, we want to print it 2 times. When I equals to 3, we want to print it 3 times. When I equals to 4, we want to print it 4 times. When I equals to 5, we want to print it 5 times. Can we write something like this? The number of times inside loop is running is equal to the current index of outer loop, right? I will repeat, the number of times inside loop is running is equal to the current index of outer loop. What is current index? Current index is this is our current index. Okay, so the number of times inner loop is running is equal to the current index of outer loop. Let's try to code it in our VS Code. Okay, so we want to print this, right? So how many times outside loop will run? Can you say this? How many times outside loop will run? 5 times, right? I want to print this 5 lines, so I will run this loop for 5 times. Okay, now the number of stars will be equal to what? Current index. So I want to print this at every line. Okay, so what you can do is you can run this loop will run for 5 times. So what you can do is you can write it like this way also. Both are same thing. Okay, so now let's take inside loop. So it will start from 1 only. Okay, now here's the interesting condition. How many times inside loop will run? It will run till our current index, till our current row index. So for now our current row index is 1. Okay, so for now, what is our current row index? I denotes our current row index. So it will be run till I. J plus plus. Now what I will do? I will print this. I will print star. Right. So for the first time, what will happen? Our row is first. Now it will go inside in the loop. J equals to first. Okay, J is more than equals to I. So 1 is more than equals to I. So star will print. So for the first time, only 1 star will print. Now after printing the star in 1 line, we have printed this, whatever pattern is there, we have printed this in 1 line. Now we want to print to the another line, right? So now we will do handle again it will go to I will be 2, and then it will run J. Inner loop will run for 2 times now. Then again it will go I will be 3. Inner loop will run for 3 times. Then again I will be 4. Inner loop will run for 4 times. Then again whatever the current I value, those many times inner loop will run. Okay, so let's run this code and see the output. See this. You can see the output, right? This was about our second pattern. Okay, is there any doubt? If there is any doubt, just rewind the video. And try to understand it again. Okay, what we are doing is just don't take it as a pattern. Okay, this pattern can be so long. Okay, this pattern can be so long. Just try whatever you want to print in 1 line. Whatever you want to print in a single line will be go inside your inner loop. Okay, and how many times this line you want to print? That will be go in your outside loop. Okay, that will be go in your outer loop. So outer loop is for tracking the number of lines you want to print. and inner loop will be responsible for printing them in single line. Okay, so there is one. Okay, so what if I modify the problem? What if I modify the problem? See, if I say this to you, I want to print something like this. See, try to understand using this pattern. This and this is same. This and this is same. What we are doing is, here we are printing star. Now we want to print what? What will we print? We will print I or J. What we will print? We will print I or J. We will print outside loop value or inside loop value. See, what I have told you. What I have told you. Inside loop is responsible for printing the values. Inside loop. So in inside loop, what will you print? See, in first line, what will you print? You are starting with one only. Okay, so every time, for every outer loop, for every line, you are starting with one only. Okay, so we'll start with one. Now here, what will you print? For first line, what will you print? I or J? If you print I, what will be the output for first line? What will be the output first line? One only. Okay, so first line, what will be the output? One only. But for I equals to 2, when it will go to next line, if you do this, go inside it. If you go inside it, okay, so what is this? J will be start with one only, and I is what? What is the current value of I? In the next line, what is the outer loop value, current index value? Outer loop current index value at this time is 2. So let's try to run it in the notepad. Okay, so let's understand what's the issue with our current code. Okay, so this is our outer loop. The number of lines I have said, the number of lines you want to print is our outer loop. So this is, let's start with 1. This is I equals to 2. This is I equals to 3. This is I equals to 4. This is I equals to 5. This is I equals to 6. Right? And what we are doing is, we are printing inside it, inside the inner loop. What we are doing? We are printing I. We are printing I. Right? We are printing I. So what's the issue is, we want to start printing. We want to start printing by 1, starting with 1, then 1 2, then 1 2 3, then 1 2 3 4, then 1 2 3 4 5, then 1 2 3 4 5 6. So every time, what is starting from 1? Every time, what is starting from 1? Is it I or J? At every line, see, this is how your matrix. It's like grid. So at every line, this is one line, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6. So at every line, you are starting from 1 2 3 4 6 and so on. So at every line, you want to print this, right? You want to print this, whatever there in the line, you want to print this, right? Whatever there in the line, you want to print this. So this line, every time it starts from 1 only. This is what? This is nothing but your J loop. So every time it is starting from 1 only. Every time starting from 1 only. 1 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. So this is nothing but your loop number. So every time, from wherever your inner loop is starting, from whichever value your inner loop is starting, this whatever you want to print. Okay, this is what you want to print. So here, what if you print J in spite of I? What if you print J? See, so let's do a try run. Okay, let's do a try run. So for I equals to 1, J will be 1. Okay, if you print, what will be the J? J will be 1 will be printed. This is our output. For I equals to 2, J will be 1 and it will run till I. So 2. So print J. We are doing what? Nothing. We are doing only printing J only. So for I equals to 3, J will run till 1 2 3. Every time print J in this line. For I equals to 4, J will run till I. J will run till current value of I, and so on. Are you able to understand it? Just try to understand the logic of every single line. See, if you understand whatever we are printing in the line, whatever we are printing in the current line, what's the relation of it with the current row index? So current row is 3, we will print till 3. Current row is 5, we will print till 5. So try to connect your row with your column, whatever you want to print in a line with the row number. So I think that's all for this problem. So just correct our code. Can you predict what will happen if I run this code? Can you predict what will happen if I run this code? See, notice this. I'm printing what? I'm printing I. I is what? I is our current row number. So what will print? What will print? Oh, just pause the video. Just pause the video and try to predict what will be print. Okay. So what was our question? So for our current problem, we will print J. Why? Because J is starting from 1 and it will run till the number of rows, till the current row index. Okay. So for current row 1, it will print till 1. For current row 2, it will print 2. For current row 3, it will print till 3. For current row 4, it will print till 4. So let's run this code. Let's run this code. So yeah, see 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's print till 10. Okay, let's print till 10. Let's print till 10. Yeah, here you can see here you can see. Okay, if you print even till 20, then also you can find the difference. Oh yeah, you can see the pattern. See, it is same pattern. Okay, so now my question is, what if I print I? What will happen? Just dial in it. What will happen? Every time current value of I will print. Every time current value of I will print. What will print? Every time current value of I will print. How many times in a line? How many times in a line? See, for current row 1, for first row, it will print 1. It will print 1. For first row, it will print 1. How many times? 1 times. For second row, it will print what? Second. For second row, it will print what? 2. How many times? 2 times. For third row, it will print what? 3. How many times? 3 times. For fourth row, it will print what? 4. How many times? 4 times. The output of this program will be like 1, 2, 2 times, 3, 3 times, 4, 4 times, 5, 5 times, and so on. So let's check if this is correct or not. See this. It is same as whatever I have written. Can you do now this type of questions? Can you do this? Okay. So what? See, I am giving you a lot of questions. So there are few questions for homework. Okay. So first question I am writing is, you have to print this. You have to print this. Okay. This only. This you have to print. Can you do this? Okay. So this is your homework. Do it in homework. Okay. So now move forward to next problem.